Hey guys, I'm back. Third time's a charm. As you can see, I scraped that last pour that I did with the thicker pouring medium. I'm using the same medium, but I've added some water. So 3 cups floetrol, 2 cups PVA, 1 cup pouring medium, and a half a cup of water. Hopefully this will work. So I've done one layer of everything, and because the paint's thicker, it kind of, when I poured it in, because it's going in from about 6 or 8 inches, it kind of fell through to the bottom. But now that I'm closer to the top, I'm able to layer it a little bit more. So I'm going to have some paint that's mixed and some that's not mixed, more layered. So that should be interesting as well. And for those that say she never scrapes her paintings, yes I do. I do scrape paintings. Unless I'm 100% happy with something, I won't keep it. I know that sounds bad, but I've got nowhere to keep paintings for a week while they dry. And then if I'm not happy with it, then I have to find somewhere to store it, and I don't want to hang it up if I don't like it. So yeah, I'd rather just redo it and save the canvas, use it again. So hopefully this mix is looking better already with the addition of the water. So all all global paints in this pour. If you're not in Australia and you can't get global, you can use Liquitex Basics. It's probably the next one up from it. I have mixed these paints, 3 parts of my pouring medium to 1 part paint. If you're using Liquitex Basics, do 4 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint, because they're a bit thicker. I'll do this one next. I've only got a tiny bit of navy left, but I want to put it next to my green. Once I flip these cups over, I'll talk to you about the paint colours while it's having a few minutes to sit. And let the paints run down and mix a little bit. Although they are pretty mixed in the bottom, that's for sure. The bottom half of the cup's really well mixed and the top's not so well mixed, more layered. It's the weight of the paint dropping into the other paint that mixes them, so I can't help that with these big cups. But I could already see cells forming in the cup, so that tells me that this is a good mix. If you can see cells in your cup when you're pouring paints in from up high, then you know you're on a good thing. I have made up a little bit of extra white because the pour that I did, my first one, I think it was number 94, the one where I poured onto the white background, I really liked how that had the little strips of white in between. So I've made up a little bit of extra white, and I'll just pour a little bit in between each of the cups after I've flipped them over. So I like that little look. Okay, I'll flip these over, get them out of the way. I've got 5 drops of treadmill silicone oil in each of my cups. I did make up, same as my previous one, number 95, I did make up 195 grams of pouring medium to 65 grams of paint. And I have got 400 grams in each cup. That makes 1600 grams of paint. So lots of paint. Cells popping up already, so that's a good sign. Now while that's sitting there, I have got white and my deep space, my navy, Marina, which is a light blue. This is a really dark bluey green colour, deep sea. This is Daintree mixed kind of 50-50 with light green. If you can't get Daintree, mix light green with a little bit of yellow. You'll get a similar colour. And then the other one is turquoise. Okay. Hopefully these paints will flow better and I won't have too much of a gap in between. I like them to be able to flow out and kind of almost join together, then I know that it's a good mix, not too thick. I want to start up high so that I don't have too much along the top to worry about covering. Okay, let's do it. Third time lucky. Oh yes, much better. Gone off the side already. And I've just slowly sort of dragged the paint over that way to cover the corner. So those corners are not easy to get. Not easy to cover. Okay, so much for leaving space for my white. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit through, like so. Just a little bit. Let's see what it does. I don't mind a little bit on the corners either. I've got a little bit left over, I'll use that there. Run a little bit through there as well, although it's probably all going to go off. I'll just fill in these gap seams. I've got the white here, as opposed to having a full white background. That one with the white background, it's very pretty, it's a lovely pour, but it's so much paint on the canvas. So I had a layer of white and then I added all my paint. It's going to take over a week to dry. And if it dries too fast, you've got the risk of it cracking. So it needs to dry slowly. Mine take about a week to dry. So if you're painting in a really hot climate and you've got lots of paint on your canvas, the top's going to dry first and underneath's going to still be wet. So if you move it at all, that top layer is going to crack because the underneath is still moving around. Okay, that's enough of the white. Torch. Got my butane torch here. So straight away you can see that the cells are bigger than the previous pour when my mix was too thick. So I have got bigger cells already popping up. Don't need to torch that section anymore, it's got quite a lot of cells. That one's got a lot of cells. It's funny how different cups have got different amounts of cells in them. I think it just must be the way the paints are layered. So all the cups have got the same amount of silicone in them. Alright, while that sits there and contemplates itself, I'll show you the one that I did earlier, number 94. Really pretty pour. That's it there. Hope you can see that. And that one was done with a mixture of Liquitex Basic paints and global paints. I wanted to see if the Liquitex Basics, being a more expensive paint, would make a better effect. So using the same colour tones in this one, but they're all global. So the global aren't as highly pigmented as the Liquitex Basics, so we'll see what happens. Let's go. Off to the corner and the bottom first, as I always like to do. Not in love with this corner with the paint that I brought back up. Oh, do I want to leave that white corner? I'll leave that white corner because I've got the white strips in the middle. Let's see if I can just get a little bit of paint off this corner here. Don't really love that corner. Go. Come back. Now I need to turn it around so that you can see. It's not easy turning these bigger guys. Oh, I didn't mark my board. I just stood in paint again. I must be dropping paint as I'm turning the canvas around. Because that's the second time today I've stood in paint. Okay. Just going to bring it towards me so that I can straighten this bottom bit out a bit. Paint's flowing much better on this paw. Heading for that top, my top left, your top, or your bottom right, I guess. Just bringing it back to the middle so that I can centre these lines. You need to bring the paint back to where you want it so that you can move it in the direction that you want it to go in. So if I wanted to straighten up this line here, I'd have to bring the paint down and then straighten that line up. But I just want to go over the end now. Hopefully I haven't lost too much paint because this is stretching. I find zigzagging like this, moving the paint, works best. Don't end up losing too much of it. Back we go to the middle. Okay. Just had to get those end ones off that were being a bit overstretched, which you can do if you've got lots of paint. You can get rid of the areas that you don't particularly like. Okay, much happier with that one. We've got cells. I'll just touch up this corner where I've put my finger in it. And that one. So again, liking those little white middle bits that I've done. Just put the paint on the top and let it run off on its own. Otherwise, if there's paint underneath the white, it will mix and you won't have a pure white, you'll have other colours under there. So just let it run off over the top of the other paint. Okay, I really like that one. It's a lot more green than the one with the Liquitex paints. A little bit more subdued, I guess, and that is because the global paints aren't as highly pigmented as the Liquitex Basics paints. Alright, a bit of a torch. I think I've got the other one just sitting over there on the table. I think I actually prefer the other one with the Liquitex. Well, this one has got its plus side as well. I don't have all those tiny little floetrol cells that I used to get. Now that I've cut back, well, I haven't cut back on my floetrol, I've increased the rest of my ingredients in my pouring medium. So I've increased the PVA, I've increased the pouring medium, which means that the PVA is kind of, the floetrol's kind of gone to the background a little bit, has been overtaken by the other ingredients. Torch the sides as well, because you can get cells on your sides. Don't forget your sides. There's no reason why you can't have cells on your sides. Don't go too close and melt your paint and let it all run off. Now these colours, because it's got so much PVA in it, these colours do look a little bit more pale because the PVA is white. So the colours will look a little bit pale until the painting dries and the PVA glue dries clear. So in a week, I will show you, on one of my other videos, I'll show you the dried piece and you can see the difference. So you're quite happy with that one? I could have even put more white in it. It could have gone down here with a little bit of white and down there. Alright, I'll show the other one now on top of that one. So this one's quite green. Can I get any more little cells popping up? Few little cells popping up. I don't know if I like this mix any better. It's hard to say because it's a different paint. This is the global paint and the other one was more Liquitex. So the cells are better. But it's just different. That's it there. It probably is a better picture, better composition. Well, the composition's very similar, better colours. What do you think? More green? These ones, the cells have got a more definite